Chelsea. Another Chelsea director, Eugene Tenenbaum, has been sanctioned by the UK government. And look, I appreciate you're the football manager, so it's difficult for you to comment too much, but how worrying is it for you at this point that another really important figure, financially and within, in terms of the club structure, has been sanctioned in this way?
We read it yesterday. I saw it yesterday in the news, and was not much more about it also for us. I mean, I don't know the implications and what it means actually for the club right now. I was just like with the team and with the staff here yesterday, and we heard it, and right now I think it's not a further distraction. It's just one more. It's just one more of the same kind, and we still hope that things will calm down and be sorted out in the process with the government.
In the meantime, the deadline for bids for the four interested parties in buying the club was yesterday.
Yeah.
Have you heard any update on that at all?
No, to be very honest, no. It's still a process, and I heard that talks are still ongoing, also with the government, and I'm still not involved, which I'm glad about, I have to say, because we have a lot to focus on here, and there's where our focus goes to. So, like I said in the first answer, we hope that things will be sorted out as soon as possible to have clarity, but I can understand that it's not that easy.
Sure. Back to football matters then. How do you reflect on that Champions League incredible victory? You know, to go to Madrid and win as you did is an incredible performance. And yet it's a Champions League exit. So I wonder whether, from a squad perspective, it's a confidence boost or a confidence damager. I
think we're all a bit in between. From confidence-wise, I think it's a huge boost. But still, it's a disappointment to go out of Champions League at quarter-final, which is not like a big drama, and of course also not in this kind of way. But still, it is a disappointment because we feel we could be one of the four teams in semi-final. That's a bit of a weird feeling because, as you mentioned, we had a huge task to go to Madrid. We need to win with a minimum of 2 goals to make it to extra time, maybe even 3 goals. We were 3 goals ahead. So, in a knockout game in Bernabeu, this was a fantastic performance and stays like this. And still, it tastes bitter because we're out of Champions League. Given both legs, we did too many individual mistakes. Too many mistakes got punished by individual quality. So it is still a little bit in between for me. But we bounced back from the two results and the 2 performances against Brentford and Madrid at home. We won both games after that. And there's a big knockout game coming at Wembley, which is, in my opinion, a good thing because there's a huge reward coming with it. So it's not a normal game in Premier League to collect points, but it's straight away another knockout match. As you know, I think the players are also a bit in between. We haven't talked too much now with them. We have training. We got some training time now before our Sunday match, and we will use it to sweat it out and to digest it fully to be ready for Sunday.
Last one from me. Jurgen Klopp was speaking yesterday and was very unhappy at the fixture congestion that Liverpool have got, and would like the Premier League to move one of those fixtures to try and help them out. It's the same problem that Chelsea have got. Looking at your fixture list, 7 games in 22 days in April. How difficult is that? Is there anything that you would want to change or see the authorities change?
It's very difficult. It's very demanding. We just had a look right after the game at all the minutes that are played in this season, and we are by far the team who played the most minutes. So we added some extra minutes in extra times unnecessarily. So this adds up to another 1.5 or 2 games. It's pretty demanding, but that's what you sign up for. I think Jurgen mentioned the 12:30 kickoff for his team on a Saturday. This is sometimes, yeah, we will have sometimes the feeling that if you play in a Sunday and again a Sunday, it could absolutely make sense to play on a Wednesday in midweek. And we had like sometimes a situation that we need to play on a Tuesday, which makes things very, very, very tight to one game, and then suddenly you have a bigger gap to the other game. And between the schedule, where we don't complain about, because it means that we are on all competitions, and we want to have the schedule because it tells you that you play for a lot. But in between there can be adjustments that make things easier to recover and to take care about the players, because it is about the players this game, and about to taking care that they don't get injured and that we prevent them from being injured. And for that we need simply hours to recover and to not sit in the bus and the plane again. That's, yeah, in these details I agree with him. In general, yeah, it is a stressful schedule, but we love it at the same time.
Alex, BBC.
Hi Thomas.
And the 5 changes will help a lot. Yeah.
Hi. You said the off-the-field announcement is similar to what you've had before, but is it frustrating that it's come before a big game?
Which one you mean?
The director being sanctioned. Is it frustrating that things like this get announced before a big game?
No, this is the situation, and it is the same situation. It is about the sale of the club, and it is about the board, and it is about all that process. So it's within that subject. It's no new subject. So there's, for me, from my point of view, and what I can tell you from here, from the training ground, a far less distraction that you maybe think from the amount of headlines, or if you see it on TV as a breaking news. But in here, it doesn't change a thing, because it's the same subject, and it's within the same subject, and we trust everybody in the process to find a solution.
And Crystal Palace put in a special request for Conor Gallagher to play the semi-final, which was rejected. And
Yeah.
Vieira said he was disappointed for Gallagher, and he saw a bit of an effect on him in training. Do you understand Vieira's frustration?
Yes.
And have you spoken to Conor at all?
I had the chance to speak to Conor, and I could also see his frustration. We met some weeks ago, I think after the national break, by incidents? Is that by incident?
Yeah.
If you run into each other?
By coincidence.
By coincidence in a restaurant, and we had a chat, and the subject came up, and I apologized because I know how competitive he is, and I like him a lot. I know his character very well, and it was a pleasure to have him here in pre-season. And yeah, this is the way it is. I mean, we play to win the game, and the rules were clear when we made the loan. And I can totally understand Patrick Vieira and also the disappointment of Conor, of course. But these were the rules when we did the loan, and we don't want to suffer from our rules.
What has impressed you about Crystal Palace this season?
The constant level on which they are playing, the high level of energy, the high level of commitment. They are playing throughout the season in the same way. It's I feel a big belief. It's a real team effort. See a real team playing, very close to the coach, calming the club down, calming the situation down, which was not easy, with so many players leaving before the season. Did a fantastic job, created a very energetic team, full of individual quality, and very dangerous counter-attacking team, and a committed group. So it was very tough to play against them in the league, and will be a tough one, because they have it's of course for us, but also for them a huge opportunity to play at Wembley, and we need to be very well prepared to control the counter-attacks, to control the individual quality, to control the dribblings, and play with the same level of intensity like Crystal Palace. They can create a certain atmosphere, especially at Selhurst Park, but for sure also in Wembley.
Nizar,
got players like Marc and Tino Livramento, who played last week, the Palace and Southampton players that Chelsea sells.
Yeah.
But they're very promising and they're probably going to achieve a lot. What do you make of those kind of players and the decision to sell them?
Well, it's a decision we took together, and we are happy about these decisions. You cannot go back and reflect, because at this point where we took the decision, it was the right thing to do given the circumstances. For example, and it's all the time very, very individual decisions, because for Tino Livramento, for example, we had a plan and we wanted we preferred a loan. But he saw his future to go, and the situation was then better to agree to the sale. For Marc, it was it's a fantastic development, and it's very hard, or maybe even impossible, to say now if we kept him, he would have been better, he would have been worse, he would have been the same, because maybe he needed exactly that. Maybe he needed the change of environment. Maybe he needed a different club. Maybe he needed a bigger role, more minutes to develop your full potential, and it just tells you over and over again that if you trust younger players, and if you have a role for them, if you trust them, they can on a very regular level match your expectations, or even overperform. And it's nice to see there's so many Chelsea players out there in every league, and we are very well aware of it, and it's always also nice to play against them and to see them develop.
If Chelsea has less money to spend in the future, could you maybe use even more of the academy players?
We will always use as many academy players as possible, because, like I said many times before, I think it makes the club very special, and it makes every team in the world very special if you have the mix between world-class players, between big personalities from abroad, from outside of the club, and the mix with academy boys. And I think that's very important also with the academy boys to match the level, to realize the level of commitment, of professionalism of players who come from other clubs, who bring the best of their cultures, and it's very, very important for our youngsters and for our academy players to accept that mix and to accept that challenge, and then it can be very special, because this is what makes teams special, that there are players from the academy in it.
Last question in this section, Simon Johnson.
Hey Thomas, two-way question here. First and foremost, is everyone okay for Sunday?
Yeah, except for Ben Chilwell and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Everybody seems to be okay. We still have 2 more trainings to go, so fingers crossed that it will stay like this. But Romelu was back in training yesterday. Let's see if he has any reaction or not, and then everybody should be okay.
And more of a general one, there's been a lot of sort of debate about whether players are getting enough protection in terms of tackling and the rules. Do you think players get enough protection from referees, etc., when, so like we saw with Atletico Madrid and Man City the other day? Do you think the rules are strong enough in terms of protecting players from injury, or do you think they could be a bit stronger?
Yeah, of course, we should always protect the players, because it's for them the game is famous, and for them the supporters want to see the players in the stadium. There's no doubt about it. So we should protect them. We should not overprotect them, but I think like always, there's a line between a fair and a hard tackle, which is also culture of English football and culture of Premier League, to let the game go and to accept a certain amount of physicality that is maybe not accepted in other leagues, which is fair enough, and which is a part of the challenge. But of course, I think we all fight for the same thing, for reckless challenges and ruthless challenges and challenges that you don't see and cannot protect yourself. Of course, we need to protect the players, but I think that every referee does his best to do so in every single match, and so I'm not aware of the discussion at the moment. I have to say, maybe I was too focused on our games and our stuff. it's like this, and this is a very individual. I think it's a very individual judgment you have to take for more or less every tackle out there. But for sure, from pure frustration or from pure hurting people, we should absolutely protect the players, of course.
Okay, that's the end of this.